I am PhD scholar here at University of Peshawar. To me, knowledge is the understanding which we receive through education, experience, and research. Knowledge can either be theoretical or practical. Knowledge can be used to solve our problems. It helps us to make decisions and even create new ideas. Thank you.
Very nice. I like the idea that it's practical and theory. We'll refer to that as praxis. Praxis, praxis. And you'll find on my website a nice paper that discusses praxis of knowledge. So let's carry on because there's some fun exercises that we're going to be doing next. And what I want to try to do is introduce this term, this idea of epistemology, where we have a meaning of knowledge that everyone has been kind enough to share with us, but we're also trying to look at it through a technology, through a medium. So I would like to introduce you to Marshall McLuhan, who has expressed this as the medium is the message. The medium is the message. So have a look. There's a link in the slides where you can find his presentation in the YouTube video. Moving on. So Amir, you may want to go mute on your microphone there for me. Thank you. Moving on. As we mentioned about circles, what we want to do is we want to be thinking about a webinar design that is moving towards a 3D or immersive experience. And having the experts in the circle right now is giving you the opportunity to be able to see each other. So we don't just have the experts sitting up on the stage, like the sage on the stage. We have people sitting in the circle, as we can see in that camera, where everyone is equal, sharing their experience and their knowledge and their opinion, so that what we're able to do is we are able to get the benefit from each perspective. And this is that 360 angle. We'll have a 360 video recording of this session as well that you'll be able to see later on. Hey, let's have some fun now. We're going to do a quick exercise, a quick test. So the people in the UK, you're invited to try this too. We're also inviting the audience as well as the experts. So we're going to ask you to close your eyes and extend your arm out. And with your eyes closed, with first your right hand, touch your nose. Okay, give it a try. All right, and now repeat it, eyes closed, and touch your nose. Okay, I can see Johnny in the UK picture there doing it, and it looks like he was successful. It looks like he was able to do it, but this is an illustration. This is an example of what we call proprioception. What does proprioception mean? What does that mean? What does that term mean? Proprioception. Have you heard of that? It's one of our senses, actually. One of our senses, proprioception. So what we're doing is we're doing an experiment where you are testing your ability to put your finger on your nose, so your awareness of space around you. Now, this is a little bit like Seema was talking about for the environment, being aware of your environment. How can your environment impact on your knowledge? Well, we're going to try another experiment here, and you're all invited to do this. if you have a pen or a pencil, any kind of device, go ahead and get that for us. Now I'm going to change the angle of my camera so I'm a little bit closer and you can see this a little bit better. Okay, so you've got your pen right now, or your pencil. And what I want you to do is I want you to start by looking down at the pen. All right, so the pen is below you and you're making a circle with it. You're making a circle. Okay, now as you're circling, we're going to be doing this clockwise. So imagine the numbers 12, 3, 6, 9. 12, 3, 6, 9. You're looking down, 12, 3, 6, 9. Now keep going the same exact direction, but bring the pen over your head and look at it from underneath. Is it still going 12, 3, 6, 9? Or has your perception now changed that it's going 12, 9, 6, 3? So instead of clockwise, are you now perceiving it to go counterclockwise? All right. So you can do the test a couple times, and you may want to try this test tomorrow or with some friends, because it changes, your perception changes. So we are looking at it down clockwise, but when we are looking at it from underneath, looking up to counterclockwise, your perception may change. Your perception may change. So here's another interactive opportunity for you. You're going to go to that WooClap website again, but the code for this exercise is ODM FEH. So it's wooclap.com, WOOCLAP.com, and the code is ODM FEH. Or again, if you have your smartphone, you can take your phone and scan that QR code, and it will bring you right to the form. So what we're trying to do now is, again, engage the audience to see, for you, did it change? Did the view change? So let's take a look and see. Okay, interesting. So did the pen stay the same direction? One of the three people who have responded said that it stayed the same direction. So our perception stayed the same clockwise. But several of you, the majority of you, and people can start, you can enter more in there, and you can do the test and then go to this website and be able to see how the numbers are changing. But if you put in, you can see it looks like the majority of the people at this time, when they are looking at this, their perception of the pen changed. It seemed to go the opposite direction. But of course, we know that it didn't actually change. It was just our view of the pen from looking from underneath. So that makes us wonder a little bit. That makes us think, if our view of knowledge can be impacted, if we can have that knowledge, that product, like we were talking about before, CMEB mentioned, like content, your perception of content. Mike, Dr. Howarth mentioned about the visual quality of knowledge. How can we have this, perception change? All right, so let's think about that, because we've got one last exercise that we're going to do all together. So if you want to, you can take your phone and take a picture of this image. You can take a picture of this little grid. And imagine that we cut that in paper and that you're going to fold that into a cube. All right, so you're going to take that, cut it into a T shape, and then you're going to fold it so that it's the shape of a cube. All right, so you can, if you have some paper or pen, you can scribble a little note if you want. All right, but what we're doing now is we're trying to look at our experience of gaining knowledge and looking at it from the inside, looking out. At the moment, we're in a two-dimensional experience. You see me up on a flat screen, but we live in a 3D world. How can we make our learning experience, this process? You know, Gianni was talking about experience of knowledge. How can we make this an inside looking out experience? Well, hopefully you've had a look at that, because now here is the quiz, the test. All right. Don't worry if it's not pass or fail test. It's just to see your perception. So which of these dice would be the correct one? You can go again to wooclap.com for our last one, where you can vote for it to be A, B, C, or D. You can choose which of these you think is the correct dice, or use your QR code scanner, and it'll bring you right to the exercise. So again, what we're doing is we're trying to look at this kind of flat 2D content, and how can we make our experience, how can we make this knowledge making, this telepistemology, how can we make it so that it's more inside looking out? Well, virtual reality, the metaverse, is taking us in this direction. So let's switch my camera now back to our wide view so that we can see our experts as well from the UK here. And hopefully they have now taken a chance to vote. And we'll switch over to our last one. And oh, this is interesting. Oh my gosh. We have 3 people who have submitted and 3 different answers. Now, wait a minute. How can this be true? How isn't knowledge a fact? Isn't there only one correct answer? Or maybe not. I'll pop this back. Let's see if we can get a few more votes. See if we can get a majority. Which of these? Okay, so if you fold it over and you have the lightning bolt on the top, for example. Okay, well, hold on a second. None of them have the lightning bolt on the top, do they? Okay, so if the arrow is on the top and you fold that over, what's going to be on the bottom? And then the other bits fold to the side. Very, very tricky. So which one of these, A, B, C, or D, do you vote for? Let's see, do we have any more voters? Oh, no, it's a stalemate. All right. Well, hopefully you took a picture. We also, Amir, I believe, have my PDF file available for people. We can put that, that's also on my website. I can't tell you the answer now because we've got an exact tie. You'll have to look at that and test it yourself and see. I think I know which one is the right one, but we'll have to see and get you to post in the text chat on my website what your conclusion is, or put in this Woo Cloud. So at the moment we've got 3 different answers for this experiment on trying to visualize being immersive and developing our spatial awareness within our webinar learning. Okay, I've only got about 4 minutes left. So I'm going to finish off here. I hope you found those exercises interesting to make the experience a little bit more involved with you. And we're going to finish off now. We'll ask someone from the Pakistan expert group. We'll start off with them, and then we'll see if David or Mike or Gianni wants to contribute for our summary reflections. So we've gone through some exercises. We've discussed what knowledge is. We've discussed having the group in a circle, so you can see the people in Pakistan are sitting in a round table for their discussion. Changes the dynamics of interacting with each other. We're in a bit of a virtual circle here with having our UK representatives in the screen, and if we had a curved screen, then it would be more of a semicircle. Then we got into epistemology. What does learning mean to us? And can we have it mediated through the technology? Can we have a telepistemology? And then we finally finished off with some exercises in perception so that you can see where you are, whether you're looking down or up, or you're trying to conceptualize that physical item or idea in a 3D experience. What is that going to be like? All right, so let's see here. We're going to ask someone from the Pakistan group if they would care to just give us, there's no right or wrong answer. Just give us your opinion. What do you feel that is a takeaway from today's session? So maybe Amir, if you want to do the microphone. All right, we're not getting the microphone. I think it's on mute.
Hello.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, now we have you. Yep.
Yeah. So I think I found this very useful in a sense that it is interaction between the people, too many people sitting in the Pakistan, the too many in the UK. So I think that's a very good opportunity to brainstorm or to discuss the things and together, and then to come up with some things. And I always found it useful in a sense that there are so many things related to the classroom, to the learning. Maybe we are facing some problems which you have already the solutions, or if we could discuss together, so maybe we can apply that solution to our context, or the vice versa as well. So which the worked solutions maybe you could try in your perspective as well. So I really recommend it for the future as well, because nowadays online connectivity and sitting together is not impossible. So that is really very useful for us. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm going to switch over to our UK group now to see if we can have someone from that group give us a summary. Mike, Gianni, or David, do either of you care to give us a quick summary of what you're thinking? John, go ahead.
I like the question. Someone from Pakistan mentioned about we do exams as opposed to coursework, and I had that in my class for like 20 years. Exams, coursework, back and forth, and now I see in my class I'm doing the knowledge is being affected by things like the chat GPT, artificial intelligence, and it's affecting us, right? And how do we judge reality? So I'm telling my students, citations and references and make effort, and so, but we may have to go back in response to this to Vivas, and it's interesting. This AI is actually helping students to learn, but to define the level that they've learned at, where they're at, is quite of a challenge now. So
absolutely, Gianni. That's fantastic. We'll have to do our next collaboration with Pakistan will be on AI. I think that'll be a great one. And then we can get a live chatterbot in as one of the speakers. That's fantastic. Well, thank you for that, Jenny. Let's see if we have anything else. Mike, David, anything?
Okay. I mean, maybe I'd just like to say that there are some new bits of equipment that are coming up. Somebody mentioned the problem of costs and things like that. Well, this is a gadget that's just out now. It's completely wireless. The little box and so on works very simply. It's called a Roland Aerocaster. It's used for music, but you can rig this up in a classroom and you know, at a much cheaper price. We talk about, in English money anyway, £240 for the kit, not the cameras, but
Yeah. But that's great, Mike. Yeah. Thank you for grounding us in the tech side as well, because we need to stay aware of that, and it's constantly changing. All right. Well, I'm going to ask the UK folks to mute for me, please. I'm going to switch my camera back to the close-up view, and just finish off here to give you a quote from James Ladyman from the University of Bristol. So, something to ponder in our conclusions. Enlightened ignorance is often characterized by knowing what you don't know. So I'll leave that thought with you if you want to take a picture of that and ponder it. Perhaps that'll be our starting point for our next collaboration and our next opportunity to work together. I do have, please, one more request, and that is that we're doing this as a research project as well. I know there are a number of you out there that are PhD students or researchers. Please take a picture of that or make a note for tinyurl.com, and it's the ICE2023 survey. So tinyurl.com, ICE2023 survey, and there's a short online survey that we'd like to ask you to do with us. And finishing off, we just have some references, like I think Gianni was mentioning about referencing to have for you. So thank you all very much.